Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bourbon Bytes Whiskey Reviews with an 80s twist. I'm your host, Clifton. Welcome to another one of my absolute favorite streams to do every single year. This is my top 10 American whiskeys of 2024. So I've done this stream the past probably like 5 years now, maybe four, where I go through everything I've tried or bought or had the chance to buy and rank them in order from my 10th place all the way to my first place. So this is a huge undertaking. I've kind of gone through and reevaluated everything I've reviewed here on the channel up to this point. And yeah, I put together a list. So this year, I want to give a very special shout out to my patrons, my Bourbon Terabyte tier, which is one of my higher tiers of Patreon. I actually had them help me sort this in a blind flight that we did over the weekend. If you're a Patreon supporter, you can see the replay of that live stream. But yeah, we went live and we ranked these blindly. Now, some of these are not from that, some of these are. But I'm very, very excited to reveal my top 10 list. So grab a cocktail, grab a whiskey, and drink along with you. I'm not going to drink all 10 here. I did that over the weekend. That was a lot. But it should still be a ton of fun. So thank y'all all for tuning in here live tonight. I appreciate seeing all of your well, I was gonna say faces, but no, names. I'm trying to figure out how to turn off my little name tag. I turned that on when I do my stream. There we go. That's because we had multiple people on last time. So, all right. So, if you are watching live, you'll notice that I set a super chat goal over here. They still don't allow us to do a money amount as our goal, which is frustrating. But I have some bonus categories I'm going to be announcing if we hit those super chat levels. So, at the $50 level of super chats tonight, if we hit that, I'm going to reveal my best Irish whiskey, my best Scotch whiskey, my best ready to drink cocktail, and my best non alcoholic spirit. There might be one or two more. I'll have to look at my list again. If we hit that level, we'll announce those. If not, it's fine. You know, this could just be American Whiskey Stream as we talked about. But if we make it all the way to $100 worth of super chats tonight, I will reveal my worst whiskey of the year, which is not something I normally do. I don't think I've ever announced a worst whiskey of the year. I think I usually am a little hesitant to do that because I feel like so much work goes into making whiskey and I don't want to belittle anybody. But this year I think I have a contender. And I'm happy to explain that. But only if we hit that $100 level. Now I think YouTube is only counting the $5 plus super chats. It's just how I had to set it up to get to the amount that I wanted. Super frustrating. Apologize. But hopefully we at least get to one of those levels. That'd be a lot of fun. But hopefully you are enjoying the show. Got our first super chat of the night. Donnie says, since I will be employed soon, congratulations again. I will start the super chats to reveal non-American list. Awesome, Donnie. Appreciate that. Donnie's been one of the amazing mods and supporters of the channel since the beginning. Thank you so much, Donnie. I appreciate it. Who else is here in the chat watching live? By the way, if you're watching the replay and you want to skip to the actual list, I'll put the time codes down in the description below. Feel free to skip around to each one and hear my thoughts on each of my top whiskeys. But if you are watching the replay and you're watching live, just make sure to hit the thumbs up. If anything, it does help out the channel. It does help people find this video. I know a lot of people are doing their top whiskey of the year type shenanigans, and that's fun. But I think mine's a little unique. So as a smaller channel, I've never really been on the big PR list to get some really good allocated stuff. I've had very grateful friends that have offered me samples of things, but I've never really, my list isn't full of BTAC or Pappy and all that stuff. It's very much bottles that I was able to find and buy, or at least you guys were able to find and buy and share with me. So that's my caveat. Doesn't mean that, I think these are the best of the best. Maybe there's probably something better, I'm sure. But these are out of the ones that I was able to get this year. These are my favorites. Donnie says, don't forget to announce first place. I will not. That was 2 years ago, Donnie, or maybe it was 3. That was the first one that was definitely the first one. That was 2021. So we're good, Donnie. We're good. Tony says it's time for Cliffy. It's time for Cliffy, but first it's Clifton. Oh, no, it's Clifton. I was kind of doing, honestly, this ranking took up until this stream to actually nail it in. I had some favorites, but I didn't have them in order, so I had to do a little bit of swishing around at the end. A well is a hole in the ground. Hello, Emily. Who else is here? Brandon's here. Sports, go sports, yay. Tony, I said hello. Adam, hello as well. Gary Franchi in the chat, prescription Burby. I was reading Cool Running. Prescription bourbon and Cool Running. Cheers, everyone. Brad is here as well. And thank you, Donnie, for dropping the Patreon info. Yes, you guys. So if you didn't know, you can support Patreon for as little as $2 a month. A lot of the folks here are already patrons, but we do offer, or say, Patreon offers a way to sign up for a year and you get a discount if you do that. It actually basically only charges you for 10 months instead of the full 12. So if you are interested in joining, hey, it's a new year. Maybe you want to come along for the journey next year. Would love to have you there. The money that I make from Patreon goes directly back into this channel. So it goes into bottles that I'm buying. It goes into shipping and sending samples and all that stuff. All the tiers tell you kind of what you get, but all of that money goes back into this project. So I'm very, very happy that, I mean, this isn't my full-time job. I have a full-time job, but any money that I make from the channel goes right back into it. So if you want to support the channel, would love to see you. Love to see you over on Patreon. Plus, you get some cool perks on our Discord server, which is also linked below. If you're not on Discord, check it out. It's a lot of fun. All right, so we have a list. I realized that I think I did not grab my number 10 whiskey because I made a last-minute change. So I don't know if I have a bottle of it. I don't know. What do we do? I don't want to get up and have you guys see what I select. But if y'all give me 30 seconds, I'll play the little intro thing again. I'm just going to double check to see if I have it. If I don't have it, it's fine. I know I'm happy with the position. I just didn't grab it because I made a last minute swap out. So let me turn on that countdown real quick. Let me go to look to see if I have it, and I will be right there. Also, hello, Zopher. You guys, this will be a good, we'll keep it right around an hour. We might go a little bit over this year, like we typically do, but should still be a good time. So let me put up that little countdown, and I will go check to see if I have that one. If I don't, then it's fine. But appreciate your patience. It's always trying to coordinate 10 different whiskeys plus if we hit the super chat goals into one stream is a lot. So let's go to our countdown again. Let's see if I can make it back to my seat in 30 seconds. Let's go. And unfortunately, I do not have a bottle of it, but it's okay. I thought I saved it for this reason, but I didn't. So it's all good. We'll keep going. I'm not going to take it off the list. It's going to stay where it is. But just felt a little underprepared. I have all these bottles surrounding me, and I realized, that one I didn't grab. So all good. Well, if we are ready, I will go ahead and jump into my list. By the way, I can't keep track of the super chats in terms of the amount, total amount. So if one of my mods can let me know once we hit that $50 goal, and if we hit the $100 goal, just let me know. I don't want to miss it because I can see the individual super chats, and of course I'll give you a shout out, but I can't see the total number, and I can't see if we've hit our goal. So appreciate you guys being there and supporting me that way. All right, so let's get into our top 10 whiskey of the year. This year has been a fun one with bourbon. I feel well, for me personally, I wasn't buying a ton. I think in previous years, I've not that I was gonna say it's not I had more disposable income. It's just I kind of reprioritized this year to kind of spend more on experiences and doing fun stuff. I went to the New Orleans Bourbon Festival. I went to Memphis to hang out with some of you guys in September, Las Vegas, of course. So this year was less about me seeking out every single bottle and more about spending time with the community. I almost was able to make it to Bourbon on the Banks. I had to end up kind of pulling out of that, but that was a lot of I hope to join in a year coming soon. There were some local whiskey festivals I participated in, got involved with my local group a good bit. So that's what this year was more about than the actual bottles. But I still think I got some really good ones. So I'm excited to share my top 10 picks. All right. We are at $5 total. Awesome. I appreciate you, Donnie. I do. Every little bit counts. All right. Let's go ahead and reveal my whiskey number 10. Now, this is one that I don't know why I didn't try until more recently. Oh, wait. Oh, I do have my number 10. Sorry. It's my number 8 that I didn't have. So give me a second. I do have my number 10. So this is one that was a bit of a rebrand. This whiskey was around. It's been around for decades, if not longer than that. And they kind of, they used to be an age-stated whiskey. Then they took it off. But then they came back with a rebrand and they put the age back on the bottle. And even though this is considered a very, very budget friendly bourbon, it's a household name. Everyone knows the name brand of it. But this re release coming back in at 7 years old really captivated me. I think it's so much of an elevation from just their baseline of the bourbon. This is a good step up, and I had to include it on this year's list. Of course, you probably guessed it. I'm talking about Jim Beam 7 Year Black Label. So this is the new label. They brought an age statement. Like I said, it used to be 8 years. They dropped it. They brought it back with the 7 year. This is a really solid bourbon. I think, if you're someone that's on a budget and you're really looking to get into bourbon, this is a good place to start. Now, I do obviously, I prefer some of the more higher end Jim Beam products like Knob Creek 12 being one of my absolute favorite bourbons of all time. If I had to pick one bourbon, like that made my top list last year, so I didn't want to repeat it again. But this 7 year Jim Beam really has impressed me. So I am very, very excited to include it in my top 10 list of the year. Okay, we can count. I don't know if I can. I can. Yes, so thank you, Donnie. Yeah, for those just now joining, I'll do at the $50 level. I will reveal my non-American whiskey categories. At the $100 level, I'll name drop my worst whiskey of the year. We'll see. We'll see if we can get there. Brandon's here. Hey, I'm going to New Orleans Bourbon Fest this March. Can't wait. Oh, that's awesome. I went last year. I don't know if I'll be able to make it again this year, but yeah, it was a ton of fun. Met up with so many great people. It's actually my first time in New Orleans, which is a city I'd always wanted to visit. So yeah, absolutely amazing experience. Gary says, spill all the tea. Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see if we get there. Thank you so much, Gary. I appreciate you. So we are, no, okay. So Donnie, just to be clear, ignore the goal part of that. I'm saying $50 and I'm saying $100. It won't let me pick a money amount. I think that's crazy because I don't want anyone to feel like they have to make it at a certain level. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to give, 5, 10, 15, $20. Whatever you guys give, as long as you guys can add up to at least $50 or $100, that'll be the goal. So if someone just wants to keep track of that, that would be super helpful. Until YouTube allows that ability, I have to pick one of the default options. So even if you do only give $2, it'll count. Let's consider it counting tonight. So 15 total. Awesome. Thank you, Donnie. Yeah. So Jim Beam Black. Have you guys tried this the re-release of this? I'm impressed. So I will say, if you watched the blind flight that we did this past weekend, Todd, which is one of my Bourbon Terabyte patrons, he put this in like his top 2. I think it was like his second one on like the whole blind flight of most of the ones we're drinking here tonight. So I was really excited to see that. This kind of was teetering on the bottom of my list. Honestly, blind, it didn't do too well, but all things considered, price, availability, in terms of a comeback, I think it deserved a spot on this list. So yeah, Jim Beam Black 7 Year is my number 10 whiskey of 2024. All right. So we're going on. Haven't tried that, but I enjoyed the Winter Reserve. I heard about that one. I also saw they had like a summertime bourbon. I saw it on the shelf. I was like, what is this? It was like a special blend for summer. I need to remember what it was. Maybe I should do a stream of those. Those should be fun. I haven't done some of those like lower. I used to do a lot of like budget whiskey streams, but I feel like there's a lot more popping up nowadays. So I definitely want to do more of those in the new year. That's one of my goals. Even though I'm not buying up all the high end bourbon, I can buy a lot of budget friendly bourbon. All right, let's move on our list. So that was my number 10. My number 9. Now this one, it is, I don't want to say controversial. Here's what happened. We did on our blind. This is a finished bourbon, but it has a very, very strong, unique finish to it. Almost so unique that I could see certain people saying like, hey, this is something I can enjoy once in a while, not, like a everyday pour. It's definitely a unique one. It's a fun one. And it's from one of my favorite brands that has been popping up lately. So I was really debating, which of their products to include, but this one felt the most unique to me, felt the most just something that I've not really seen done, or if I've seen it done, I've not seen it done well. And I think this is the best expression of this type of cask I've ever seen. The cask in question is a maple cask. So not only is this a double barrel finish, it has a extra oak, like a double oak kind of thing going on, but it's also finished in maple casks. So this one's really fun. It's also from one of the great guests who I've had on the channel this year. This is my number 9 whiskey of the year. RD1. This is their double finish in oak and maple barrels. If it'll focus, there's a lot of text there. So this is their small batch, 99.9 proof. This is just so unique. I've never had a maple barrel. I'm not talking maple syrup, I'm talking maple barrel finish. And that maple is such a prominent note. That's why I said like you can't drink it every day, but it is such a treat to have. And I think it's one of my just in terms of a unique finish whiskey, one of my favorites all year. So have you guys had much RD1? I've had the brand on the channel a few times. I've met up in person, so really loving them this year. I'm excited to see what they do moving forward. But yeah, shout out to Barry for over at RD1. Congratulations! If y'all want to let him know, he is in my top 10 whiskey of the years. That'd be awesome. Prescription Bourbon says need to hear the list. Oh well, we'll see. We'll see. We got 20. Okay, so we're getting there. So we might make it at least to the $50 tier, which will reveal my top Irish, top Scotch, top ready to drink cocktail, top non-alcoholic cocktail. I feel like there's one more and I'm forgetting it. We'll find out. I like the single barrel picks up RD1 better than the core lineup. I've only had them at tastings. I don't have any of them in front of me, but that one's a really fun one. But I think this is one thing to take away from these things. Even though I'm highlighting a certain expression from a brand, I really want to emphasize like that expression might not be everyone's favorite. But if I'm recommending a brand, hey, maybe try something that you'll like, maybe a rye or a single barrel. You'll see that coming up. There's one in particular that I think not just a whiskey. It's actually my whiskey of the year. It's not just my favorite whiskey of the year. It's my favorite new like product line. I don't want to reveal too much. We'll wait till we get there. So yeah, so it's all about the brand itself. Cool Running says I used to drink the Jim Beam 8 year when out at bars in Belfast. Either that or the regular Jack Daniels. Our bars didn't have much bourbon here. Yeah, I mean, I think it is a major improvement from Jim Beam White Label. I think as much as as much as we all love Jim Beam White Label from our early college college days, I think the black is definitely a step up. You will not be letting him know. Okay, Tony. Okay, Tony. But yeah, no, RD1's killing it. I'm excited to see more from them. They're a relatively new brand, and yeah, I had to feature them this year, especially that maple cask. It's really fun. All right, are we going too fast? Should I slow down? What do you guys think? I don't want to feel like I'm rushing through these, but I also like don't want to just linger. Like, y'all got stuff to do. I got an after party hangout to do with my patrons. So let me know how you feeling. Let me know what you're drinking too, or what your favorites have been this year. Thank you, Donnie, for dropping the merch link. Yes, we got some merch there. There've been a lot of holiday sales. I don't run the sales. Threadless runs the sales, but I've been getting my own emails being like, "Oh, your merch is on sale." I'm like, "Cool." I need to buy more of my merch. Honestly, I probably need to go a size up. That's the thing. A lot of the ones that I bought, but these are the ones that I've had for like 3 or 4 years. They're starting to shrink, or I'm probably getting bigger. Anyways, I could go a size up for my own merch. So maybe I should take advantage of my own sale, my own holiday sale. I think that was a big Black Friday one. I think it was like only $10. So keep an eye out there if you're looking. I'd love to do more merch. That's something I've been saying for a while. I've not had the opportunity. I'm hoping in the new year that I will be doing more merch. I have ideas. I just hadn't had the time this year, but I think in the new year, I'm thinking I might have a little bit more time to be creative outside of my day to day. So looking forward to that. Still want a glass? I have connections to do glassware. Okay, okay. As long as I don't have to hoard like 1,000 Glencairns at my house, I do it. So I've heard some options. I'd love to look into it. I know we have some amazing creative parts of our community, our friends, our patrons. So love to get that in the works. I think Heather from Heather and Patrick, she does some really cool custom etching with her. She's like a whole thing at home. So yeah, would love to absolutely do that, especially if I can involve a small business in our community. That's even better. So we'll look into that in the new year for sure. All right. Whiskey. No, oh, do a pre-sale. Fun. Yeah. As long as I can make sure that like the pre-sale is like actually what you're gonna get, and like I don't want to like pre-sell like this is a cool concept and like I can't do it with the price I gave before. So I'll look into it for sure. I'm very very interested in doing it. I just haven't had the. This year has been a lot. I mean, a lot of y'all know it's just been a lot with work, but I'm hoping it gets a little better next year. We'll see. Anyways, enough about me. Let's keep talking on our top whiskeys of 2024. My number 8 was the one that I thought I had a bottle of, and I don't have it in front of me because I probably drank it because I like it this much. This one has actually become, it's a product I've had before, but now it has an age statement. There's a version of it with an age statement. It's a very nice age statement of 10 years old. That's something on a product that you can find on the shelves. A 10-year age statement is exciting to see. This is a brand that's not very new to me. I've loved this brand for years. I love their bourbon, but this is their rye whiskey. This is, of course, I'll just reveal it. I don't know why I'm building it. There's no reason to build it up. My number 8 whiskey of the year is my Knob Creek 10-year rye. That is the one that is. I don't have a. I wish I would have had a picture of the bottle, but yeah, it's about. Let's see. Make sure I get the price right. About $65. It is also the same 100 proof that the standard Knob Creek rye is, but that extra age on it, going from like 6 to 7 to 10 years, to me. Now, this is a personal opinion. I know some people feel a little different about this one. To me, this makes this one of the best ryes in the category. It's competitors. No, I don't want to say competitors, but the closest ones that I can connect it with. I love me a Templeton 10-year rye, which is also has the 10-year age statement. Pikesville rye is a little bit younger, but higher proof. I like that one. This to me checks all those same boxes, but it has a little bit more of that Knob Creek note that I really love. That nuttiness, the typical Knob Creek flavor profile. Yes, it's a rye whiskey, but there's a lot of corn in that mash bill. I'm a big fan of this one. I know a few people, other folks are too. So I had to put Knob Creek on my list at some point. So this year it goes to the Knob Creek 10-year rye. Honorable mention for Knob Creek is their 113 proof Bourbon X rye. That one to me didn't quite make the list because I felt like, one, the price was good, but I felt like I liked the flavor profile of the rye 10-year better. So Knob Creek 10-year rye, not lie, is my number 8 whiskey of the year. I'm surprised I don't have a bottle of it. That's why I went to go check, but yeah, I don't have it. Donnie says, got any lurkers out there? Lurkers checking? Yes, feel free to say hello. Whether you're new or a regular, I'd love to say hi and love to know what you guys are drinking on. And I'm not even drinking these because I've already finished them. Okay, let me see what's my number 7. Maybe I can pour some of that. Oh yeah, I can pour number 7. At least I realize I'm sitting here talking. That's what it was. I was saying, I was like, am I going fast? Why is this vibe weird? Because I'm not drinking. I'm always drinking on these streams, and I'm like, why? Why is this going so fast? Because I'm not drinking. Okay. Like I said, I did the blind flight. If you can see, like I have some little sample bottles here. Like this is the blind flight I did with my patrons. Like again, we streamed it on as a Patreon only stream. So these were the ones that were the best of the year, but they're just blindly labeled, and I don't feel like pulling up my tracker to see what they were. But number 7, I have a bottle of in front of me. So number 7, this isn't the first time this brand has been on my top list. I don't think it had a contender last year, but I think this year they came back around with a specific release. Now, this is a brand that does 3 releases a year. They put out like 3 different batches. People have always been like hit or miss with this one, especially. There's another line from this same brand, which is Heaven Hill. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof tends to be people's winners. This year, though, I think another one of their special barrel proof editions beat out Elijah Craig Barrel Proof for me. So I actually don't have an ECBP on this list. Not to say I didn't love them. I absolutely did. But actually, Larceny Barrel Proof beat out Elijah Craig. I rewatched the stream earlier today, and I literally said, I wish I would have remembered that I said this. I said, like, I need to go get me a full-size bottle of this right now, and this is going to be my fall whiskey. I never did that. I still have my sample bottle. So I did not keep that into the commitment. But what I did was include it on my top 10 whiskeys of the year. I'll give it another shot at its moment in my life. I'm talking about Larceny Barrel Proof A124. This was the first batch of this year. It came in at 124.2 proof. I did it blind against all the Larceny Barrel Proofs. This one tasted the most. It matched everything I love about Heaven Hill products. I don't normally even see that in Larceny. Normally, I have to go to Elijah Craig. I have to go for like a rye bourbon, not a wheated bourbon. But this wheated bourbon is packed with flavor. Just really, that proof just is perfect for it. And yeah, it's definitely the best Larceny Barrel Proof I've had, at least in a couple years. So this year, Larceny gets the highlight over Elijah Craig. Donnie says, please paste the list at the end. Yeah, so I'll put the time codes at the end of the stream. It'll probably be tomorrow by the time I do it, but I'll put it back in so you guys can see the full list. Roger says, no ECBP. I know. It's a shocker, because I'm pretty sure I've had ECBP in every top 10 list that I've done so far. Again, it's not to say I don't love it. I did a blind flight of all batches of 2024, and I did have a favorite, but I don't think any of them made this list specifically as much as the Larceny Barrel Proof has. So this year for me, it was a Larceny year. I'm a big fan. Again, the nose, you usually think with a wheated bourbon, it's gonna be a little more like, delicate and light, but this one, it is so sweet. Such a I feel like the theme of this year with whiskey was like very much like a pie crust kind of note. I get that absolutely on this one. And it's even a little fruity. That's not something I typically get with Larceny. But this batch in particular really takes me to everything I love about Heaven Hill. They're just I mean, if you know me, you know that they are one of my favorite distilleries. Speaking of which, I'm sure y'all saw the news that there was unfortunately a death at the facility today. One of the employees that was working in the Rick House unfortunately fell to their death, which is absolutely horrific. So this larceny goes out to Travis Jury. They were 41 years old and they died at the distillery today. So unfortunately, the distillery closed down. Like all tours and stuff today were canceled. Obviously, so it's just really sad because I know how family centric Heaven Hill is, and I think every employee they consider family. So really, they are in my thoughts. Their family and their friends are in my thoughts. It's just a really tragic situation. I don't know the details much beyond that. That there's something involved with the fall, but yeah, really really tragic. So this is to you, Travis. I didn't know you, but you work at one of my favorite, if not my favorite, distilleries. So raising a glass to you tonight. Cheers. Yeah, Larceny just they killed it. They did a really good job this year. I realized I almost said killed him, but that's not that coming after that. That wasn't very appropriate. So I apologize. Um, yeah. So we got six more whiskeys to reveal in the core lineup, or not the core lineup, but the my main list. How are we doing on super chats? Are we getting closer? I saw Prescription Burn said he needed to hear the list. So I think we're getting a little bit closer. But yeah, I would love to reveal these to you. I had to set it. I had to set a limit. One, because it's fun. Two, because I need your money. I'm just kidding. I don't need your money, but I do appreciate the support, whether you're here or Patreon. Okay, we're at 20. Cool. Cool. Well, let's keep the list moving, shall we? Let's go on to my number six whiskey of the year. This one is one that I feel like should be on everyone's list. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but I love seeing a special bottle commemorating a special moment. I think a lot of us drink our whiskey, but also a lot of people collect whiskey. I mostly drink. There's only a few special bottles I have in my collection that are unopened. They're most. I mean, let's see. I have a local distillery from South Carolina. I have a bottle up there that's unopened, just 'cause I really like the bottle. I have a signed bottle of Wild Turkey 101 by Jimmy Russell that's up there. I've not opened that one. Um, I have a Walking Dead bourbon. Just so like maybe that'll be worth something one day. And then of course I have some bottles that I'm hoping to maybe trade at some point for things that I would rather drink myself. But I do have certain bottles that I want to keep for a special occasion. And this distillery actually did something themselves that made a special bottle commemorating the mastermind of it all. You probably guessed it. Let me find it. My number six whiskey of the year is the Wild Turkey Jimmy Russell's 70th anniversary release. So this is technically is an 8-year-old Wild Turkey 101. Retails probably around 50, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. But it's a commemorative bottle just made this year for Jimmy Russell's 70th anniversary at the distillery. I think that's so cool. Jimmy Russell is probably the one of the most iconic figures in modern day bourbon. By modern day, I mean like in like the 1950s and beyond. He is an incredible icon. I'm so lucky to have met him just once, but I had him, like I said, I had him sign that bottle up there. So that's why I love this release. I would love to get a second bottle at some point just to kind of have it and keep it on the shelf as well. I think I love bottles that commemorate something important, and like your master distiller for 70 years. That is incredible. So that's why this is my number six whiskey of the year. What are we doing for our next live stream in a few weeks? Wait, did we agree to another one in a few weeks? Probably. We probably did. I don't know, Brandon. Tell me and tell me when because I don't remember. We probably agreed to it sometime. Tony says, "Take my monies." Well, Tony, thank you. I don't want to take your money. By the way, I got your samples. I haven't opened them yet, but they did arrive. So thank you for those. We are at $30. Wow, we are only 20 away from revealing our. I keep wanting to say runners up. They're not runners up. They're just different categories. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. We're at 7:36. I want to pour a little bit of this in honor of Jimmy. Did y'all see that Booker's has like the new released? I think it's the 2024-04 is called Jimmy's Batch, and it's like a tribute to Jimmy Russell, which is pretty freaking cool. I think I'm gonna buy it. I talked about this on my hangout the other night, but I don't know. I think it's so cool, especially to see other brands tribute um, tribute other people that are outside of their brand. I think that's really cool. We agreed to Saturday, January 4th. Okay, well, if we agreed to it, is it at your place or mine? I don't remember. I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not saying no, but okay, cool. I didn't know that. I'll have to remind Justin. All right, so this is the Jimmy Russell 70th anniversary bottle. Like I said, I got this bottle thanks to Brennan for helping source this one. Paid a little bit more than retail, but I know it's become a little more available. I haven't seen it myself, but if I see a second one, I'm absolutely gonna buy it. Also, there's rumors that they're gonna make the 8-year the standard Wild Turkey 101 moving forward, or at least a different bottling of it, which would be incredible. I love seeing age statements on whiskey. My place. Okay, I got it. I got it. Yeah. It's all the flavor of Wild Turkey 101. It's not that this tastes so special. It's just the release. One, giving an age statement. Two, a tribute to Jimmy Russell. Had to make the list. Really good though. Really solid Wild Turkey. Tony said, "Are you sure you don't have a cruise or a trip to Vegas planned for that weekend?" Oh, let me check. Let me check. No, no, I don't. I'm doing a lot of traveling. I'm actually heading out on Saturday to fly back to South Carolina. I'll be there for a week and then flying back here. So I'll be back in town for sure. Yeah. Did Cliffy? Probably it was probably Cliffy. Yeah, most likely. I probably agreed to it over. We usually go to a brewery after our live stream, so I probably agreed to it after a whole live stream, after a pregame, and at the brewery. But you're not. You're welcome. You're welcome over anytime, Brandon. All right, we got my top 5 whiskeys to go. All right, we are halfway through the list. How are y'all feeling? Okay, honestly, gut impression. How are y'all feeling about the list so far? Do you feel like it leans, too heavy in one direction? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you disagree completely? Are you unsubscribing right now? Let me know. Again, this is based off of the whiskeys I had a chance to try or buy. Had a like I said, didn't go crazy on bottles this year. Didn't get a chance to buy hardly any allocated stuff, really. So this year it's all about what I've really loved. You were feeling like you want to hear the top 5. I love that, Donnie. Me too. Great list so far. Oh, thank you so much, DNC. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that you guys are in line. I didn't subscribe before I started. With which account, Tony? Which account? All right. So we're gonna move into our top 10. I pour these whiskeys and then I don't really drink them. I should probably drink more of them. I need to drink more. This is too. I'm making this too serious of a stream, but it's like a big. I look forward to this stream every year. Like I even like turn on like my gold lights behind me and everything. I'm like, this is award season, y'all. I don't know. Not that anyone cares. Oh, Bourbon Bytes listed it as his number 3 whiskey of the year. You know what? It matters to me, and hopefully it matters to some of you. Silver says not enough Four Roses, but I'm biased. I will say I did have an amazing Four Roses store pick this year. If I actually rewatched my stream from last year, and I picked my favorite store pick bourbon, and it was a Four Roses. So it made the list last year. So sorry, I don't. We'll see. We'll see if it's in the top 5. But Emily says you can party Michelle and Women of Whiskey next week just because. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I probably won't be able to make it because I'll be traveling and seeing family, but that is very cool. Definitely go watch them next week. More new bottles. Always love that. If you try to blind me, I'm going to guess that one distillery that you always go to in San Luis Obispo. I think that's how you pronounce it. But no, that's awesome. Cool. I look forward to it. All right, top 5 whiskeys of the year. Number 5. Okay, this one's a fun one. This one is probably the most readily available. Not the most. I mean, obviously not compared to like Jim Beam Black because that's like super readily available. But this is like probably the most readily available on this list, at least for this year, at least from what I've seen. This is a brand that I think gets overlooked a lot because they have core products that are on the shelves everywhere. You see them at whiskey, not even whiskey bars. You see them at restaurants. You see people making old fashions with them. You see them at Costco, and it's a brand that I've looked over in the past because again, they aren't distilling their own stuff. They are sourcing it, but they came out with a new release this year that added an age statement to one of my favorite products of theirs. So not only that, they put it out for $50. They put out a 12-year-old rye whiskey for $50. I've never seen something such a good deal, at least in recent years. Um, it's sourced from my favorite, or no, my favorite rye whiskey distillery, um, which is in Indiana. Especially with older rye whiskey, I love MGP rye whiskey. But yeah, this brand took it, aged it 12 years, and then bottled it and sold it $50. So my number 5 whiskey of the year has to go to Bulleit 12-year-old rye whiskey. So this is a 2024 release. It's brand new for this year. Bottled at 46% ABV, so it's not cask strength. That's my only. This could have been a number 1 whiskey of the year if it was a higher proof. I'll say that. I love this whiskey. Um, I think it's fantastic for the price. One of the best values in American whiskey that you can find these days. 12 years old. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's classic Indiana rye, but with that extra age and extra depth. There's a typo. Did I spell bullet wrong? Bullet. Oh, I just spelled wrong. I'm sorry. I did type those right before the stream. So that is entirely on me. I told you I was just putting my list together as we were speaking. There we go. There you go. Yeah, you didn't see anything. Mandela effect. I was always like that. What are you talking about? Yeah, no, this one just really, really. If everyone made a Tony said if everyone made a value list, this bottle would be at the top of everybody's. Yeah, I love good value whiskeys. So yeah, I mean best. I don't want to say it too loudly because if we say it too loudly, it might get the hint and raise the price. But this I can find at like stores. Like I literally walked across the street to the Bevmo near me and like got it, and it was available. It's actually funny. Well, first of all, I looked to make sure they had it, and like I went early in the morning because I was gonna on my way to work. I was like, oh, let me just stop and get that bottle. So I always feel kind of weird going to liquor stores relatively early. Like I feel like I don't know, like people make assumptions, right? So I walk in and like there's this lady who's like stocking the shelves. I walk in and she's like, "Hi, hello," and then she turns back to what she was doing. And then next thing she knows, I'm standing at the register with my bottle of Bulleit 12-year rye, and she's like, "Oh my god, how did you picked out what you want that fast?" I'm like, "Oh, I know what I like." So she's like, I love it." So it was just funny because I think she expected me to browse for a bit, but no, I grabbed that Bulleit 12 and I walked right to the checkout. Such a good bottle. They may think you drink. I know. Like I said, it was like a Wednesday and it was like 9 a.m. So I felt a little weird about it, but got the whiskey I wanted, so that's why it's here tonight. Zofer with a $10 super chat. Wow, I think we are only $10 away from revealing my top non-American whiskey spirits. If we hit that, I will take a break and I will reveal them before we get to number 1. So we'll see. We'll see if we get it. If not, it's okay too. It's okay too. All right, but yeah, this Bulleit 12-year rye, man, this is going to be a regular. This and the Knob Creek 10 rye, I think, are going to become regulars on my shelf. This one I like just sip. I don't even need to use this in a cocktail. This one I just like need. I think that the Knob Creek 10 rye works so well in like a Manhattan, but this one is a sipper for me. So good. Y'all notice if you watch these streams every year, or you've at least seen some of them, Indiana rye makes it high on the list very often. I think 2 or 3 years ago, I had the Templeton 10-year rye in this exact. I think it was my number 1 whiskey actually one of those year. So that's also Indiana rye. It's 10 years old, but it's higher proof. So again, if this was higher proof, this would be number 1 territory for me. But right now, it's number 5. But no complaints there. Love it. Fantastic whiskey. All right. So we are in our top 4 now. Working at a liquor store at 9 a.m. is people watching heaven. Oh, I imagine. I'm sure. Yeah, just need $10 more. We'll see. We'll see. No pressure. I know what I want and where it is. Exactly. Yeah. Like I'm not there to browse. I mean, I do like to browse, but like the only reason I was there is because like you have this in stock and I need this right now. So Wow, that does make me sound really bad. I need this right now at 9 a.m. Promise I didn't open it till after work. But all right, number 4. This one is a bottle that I forgot about. I bought this early in the year. I think it came out first part of 2024. I loved it. I honestly, this is a brand that I don't really do well with. It's a brand that I don't love most of their releases. I've gone to several tastings where I've tasted through their entire lineup. Did not like it. So I almost swore off this brand, but someone told me that this new release from them is a different mash bill or something is different about it than all the other releases except one. It like basically matches the mash bill of one of them. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna pay. I think I overpaid for it. I think I paid like 140 for it. I think retail is like 110, 115. Maybe it's a little more. I don't know. But this one I forgot about because I would have totally included it in our blind flight that I did with my patrons. But I literally was like making my last look at my list, and I'm like, why did I not include that one? Where is it? Also, did I forget to grab it? No, it's here. Okay. So my number 4 whiskey of the year, like I said, is a brand I don't normally love, but this year it had a standout. This is the Old Forester 1924. This is the 10-year-old bourbon coming in at 100 proof. Come on, focus. There we go. 10-year-old expression honors the 100th anniversary of this occasion. So, like I said, this is someone said this is the same mash bill as the 1910, which I also of all of them, it's one of the few that I enjoy. But this 1924 really, really does it for me. And I actually haven't drank it in months. If we're talking about months, um, yeah, I haven't. So this will be me. And like, you're like probably like, why did I make the list if you didn't try it? I'm like, I did. I tried it early in the year, and I said this is one of my favorite things I've bought, especially from the brand. I just forgot about it. So yeah, to me, this flavor profile is more in line with what I typically like. It's very oaky. That 10 years again, I'm a sucker for 10 years. Like to me, like 10 to 12 is my peak bourbon. Like rye too. I think that's like for me, that's the age. Like if I'm gonna have a preference for age, like it's gonna be 10 to 12 years old. That's for rye. Rye, I'm more okay with younger. Bourbon, I definitely prefer it to be at least 10. 9, pushing it sometimes, but yeah. I mean, that's so different from their other stuff. And I wish it was one more available, two priced lower. I think that's why it's not near the top of my list. The pricing is what killed me on this. Would I pay that price I paid for? I think I said 140, 150. I wouldn't pay that again, but I would pay closer to 120. Even that feels high. Honestly, like, you know, I don't regret putting this as number 4 because I like it so much, but I do regret not I don't regret. I do really wish it was a lower price. So, it's a good bourbon, but, yeah, it's like one of those things you try once or get it once, see if you like it, and then if you don't, then move on. So, do you hear accordion music? Not from me. I mean, there's a bar over there. I don't hear any music though. Sean is here. What's up, Sean? Good to see you. Make sure I didn't say anything. I'm joining you for this pour, and of course, I agree the price is too much. No, no regrets. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, again, I think it's a fantastic bourbon, a fantastic addition to their lineup. My favorite product in the Whiskey Row series. Do I think it's overpriced? Absolutely, but it made my list this year. I do love the 100 proof on it too. I think it's a very. I of course probably would like it higher proof, but 100 is like as long as you're not like 80 proof, I'm gonna be happy. All right, so that's my number 4 whiskey of the year. We're in our top 3, guys. I will say if we get to 1 and we haven't named our extra categories, which is that extra $10 of super chats, we may not do them. So last call for at least 10 more dollars to reveal my top non-American whiskey categories. If not, we don't hit it. It's totally okay. Just saying, like I want to kind of cut out. I want the number 1 to be kind of like the last, unless we have to announce my worst whiskey. That's at the $50 level or 50 $100 level. Sorry, if we hit $100 in super chats, then I will reveal my number 1 worst whiskey of 2024. But if we don't, I can keep that secret to myself. No one will have to know. Bring the price down and bring the proof up for the rice. Very fair point. Very fair. All right, so we're gonna go into our number 3 whiskey of the year. So this one is one that I just recently tried for the very first time. And by recently, I mean I literally just did a stream of it last week. This is a brand that I've heard so much about, but I've had so little experience with. It's a brand that is not, it's a brand new brand, first of all. Second of all, it is by one of the most beloved whiskey blenders in all of Kentucky. This is, someone that a lot of people in the community here are good, close friends with. It's someone that I've never met, but I've heard he's wonderful. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna finally try his new product line, and I am so glad I did. This one did very very well in the blind flight for almost. No, I think it was all of us. I think it was Fred, Todd, and I both ranked this very very high in our blind flight, and it's very very obvious why. My number 3 whiskey of 2024 is the 2XO Gem of Kentucky. Now, this is a single barrel, so your mileage may vary. My barrel, which is barrel number 56, is fantastic. This is, just such a well-crafted blended American. So it's not a blended American, right? Let me say it's a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, but it is a blend of different barrels. Oh wait, no, it's a single barrel. Never mind. Let me back up. It I think what I'm trying to say is it is a sourced whiskey, but it is a single barrel that they put it into their other blends. That's the point I'm trying to make. 2XO are typically blends. This is a single barrel, and this single barrel is fantastic. That's what I was trying to say. So it's different. Oh wow, we may have just done it. Prescription bourbon, twist my arm. Well, no twisting necessary. Sean and Tony. I say dang it, dude. Don't say dang it. You put us over. We're at 55. Holy crap! Thank you guys so much. We are gonna reveal. Nice. We're gonna reveal some of my fun non top 10 but still favorite categories. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everyone who's watching and supporting the channel. Now remember, we can reveal my worst whiskey of the year if we get $45 more. I'm just saying. We don't have to, but we could totally get there. By the way, I want to give another shout out right now. We have a new patron, Matthew Parks. I'm not sure if you are here in the chat, but thank you so much for becoming the newest Bourbon Megabyte member. That is so awesome. I'm so glad to have you join us. Hopefully, if you're on Discord, please make sure to tell me your username so I can make sure you get access to our after party hangout, because Bourbon Megabytes get the they get access to our after party hangout. I'd love to have you join. And unless you I think you did the free trial, right? And then if you did the free trial, it should automatically carry over. But thank you so much for committing to your membership. That's awesome. Appreciate it. I don't know if you're in the chat. I think it may have just auto done that from last week, but appreciate you. Thank you for being there. The dang it was because Sean beat me. Oh, no worries. Working on 100 now. Cliffy wins. Cliffy, we all win. I want to try that 2XO. Don't finish it. Brandon, there's plenty. You're good. It'll survive the next 2 or 3 weeks. All right. So let me try the 2XO. Again, I tried it blind and it blew my mind. So I'm very excited to put it on the list. Matthew and Jerry Black. Yeah, so Jerry Black was he joined the trial. I haven't seen it go through. If he committed to the full month, amazing. Haven't seen it gone through yet, but yeah, Matthew committed, so that's awesome. I appreciate you joining us. Hopefully, you can join us in the after party. Again, it was great having you last week. All right, yeah, man, that's good. I realized I filled up all my glasses, and I don't have enough to pour my top 2 whiskeys of the year. So maybe you do a little sipping, a little less talking, a little more sipping. Is that a song? That sounds like a song. I'm thinking a little less conversation and a little more touch my body. I'm so into you. That's not what I was going for with that, but there's got to be another song about like a little less talking, more something. I don't know. By the way, we had our work Christmas party on Tuesday, and it was a karaoke party, and I went to that party being like, I will absolutely not get in front of my coworkers and sing. Then I ended up getting in front of my coworkers and sing. We sang "Murder on the Dance Floor" from Saltburn, which is very relevant. It was the Amazon MGM title. I played the part of Barry, or not. What's his name? What's his name? Is his name Barry? I feel I was like, that's the distiller at RD1. Wait, who's the guy from Barry Keegan, right? Yeah. So I did shake a little booty. Kept clothes on though, and we did All Star. Somebody want, yeah. So we did group karaoke, but it was a ton of fun, and I'm glad that I opened up a bit for Christmas. Not too much, just a little bit. Donnie says, mash that like button, click subscribe, and ring that bell, and choose all so you get notified and don't miss a thing. Yeah, guys, join me in the new year. This will be my last stream of the year, which I always save the stream for the last if I can. Um, Thank y'all all. So we're not done. I'm not gonna Donnie, don't get nervous. I'm gonna make it to the end because those of you that don't know the story, 2 or 3 years ago, I ended the stream without announcing my number one whiskey. I announced my number two. Then I'm like, Happy New Year, bye everyone. Yeah, so that happened. We will make it. But yes, if you guys want to join me in the new year, we have a lot of fun streams coming up. Coin sense and nonsense. Merry Christmas, Clifton. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas to you. I almost said Happy Birthday. I think I was reading Bourbon Bytes. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate. Happy New Year. I feel like I haven't really enjoyed this season because I've been so busy with work. And that's really sad. And I feel like I need to take time to enjoy the holiday spirit. We have a Christmas tree for the first time this year in our apartment. We normally just go home for Christmas, so we don't ever bother setting up a Christmas tree. But I'm like, we actually have a Christmas tree this year. And then I noticed my husband works from home, and his desk is beside the tree, and it's always off when I wake up. And I'm like, no, it is Christmas. We paid for this Christmas tree. So I turn the Christmas tree on every morning. Might annoy him a little bit. I'm like, no, we only get to enjoy this for a few weeks out of the year. We're turning on our Christmas tree. It looks amazing. By the way. We need more ornaments though. I have a Maker's Mark ornament that I got from being on their like their mailing list or whatever. I need more whiskey related ornaments. That could be fun. I do have Brandon, wasn't it? Were you telling me that you and Francesca do a like you take those bunghole sounds so wrong, those bunghole things and make ornaments out of them, or you bought them from distilleries? I'd love to get more whiskey thing. We have a lot of like video game stuff on our tree right now. We got some Mario stuff, we got some Nintendo stuff. But I'd love to do more whiskey stuff. Give me ideas. Do you guys have any whiskey related Christmas ornaments? That should be fun. Uh Thankfully Discord never closes. It is not a real tree this year. We got a fake one. But for us it's a big deal. It's like 7.5 foot. It's very big. So yeah, it's a win for us. Maybe next year we'll get a real tree. There are a lot of Christmas tree farms around us. But a Malort ornament. Yeah, we have a bunghole ornament collection. I love it. I thought I remembered you telling me about that. A martini ornament. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Oh, that is so cool to do like more alcohol themed stuff. That would totally fit the vibe of like our ornament. It's right near our bar cart too, so like it would actually that'd be cool. Let me know where you got that coincidence. I'd love to check it out and then maybe buy one for myself. Maybe for next year. It's getting too close. All right. We got two more whiskeys to reveal, plus our extended list. We don't have our worst whiskey yet. We'll get to that if we get to that. My number two whiskey of the year. This is a brand that's made my list pretty much every year. Different releases, completely unrelated. This actually surprised me in a blind flight that I did this past week with my patrons. This one was one that I thought I would hold on to and just see how it does. I'll be honest. In my blind flight, this was my number one. Didn't expect it. I had no idea what this was. But it blew me away. So let me see if I can find some more info on availability. Maybe it was like a limited release. Let's see. Oh no, it's just still available. I'm seeing it at Total Wine for $81. So this one is very fun. It's another fun finished one. But like I said, this brand, they're known for their blends. Like they've always excelled at them. They actually used to do they still do a New Year release that kind of is like the epitome of their bourbon for the year. Last year, I thought it was pretty good. The year before that, I think it was the 2022 one, was my number one whiskey of the year. Like it was absolutely fantastic. This isn't the New Year release, but this is another release by the brand. Of course, if you catch my flow, we're talking Barrell. This one surprised me. It was a lot of fun. My number two whiskey of the year goes to Barrell Bourbon Mizunara Cask finish. So this is another one of their cask finish series. This is a 6-year-old bourbon at 116.42 proof. Let's see. Casks made from rare Mizunara hardwood are a true work of art. The wood is meticulously cut and the barrels carefully raised due to the wood's characteristics. It imparts notes of sandalwood, herbal spice, and coconut to bourbon. Precision is required to craft a harmonious blend. So the mash bill is 76% corn, 20% rye, 4% malted barley. Is a blend of an Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee bourbon. This one really surprised me, especially blind. Like just everything about it really, yeah, it continues to succeed when it comes to their blends. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Y'all know I'm totally open to source whiskey as long as they're transparent. And I also love blended whiskey. I've discovered the craft of blending, obviously with the 2XO in this one. So, oh, that's so cool. So this is a picture that Brandon sent me of their Four Roses bunghole. That's so cool. I totally need to do these. Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. Barrel craft. Yeah, y'all guessed it. Y'all guessed it. Drinking. Oh, the Remus Babe Ruth. Nice. I got the press release about that. I didn't have a chance to try it. How is it? Let me know. I love Remus too. They didn't make my list this year, unfortunately, but I have enjoyed the latest Remus Repeal Reserve. Just not quite enough to be on my top 10 list. All right, so we are at the 1 hour point, but we do have some contenders to list out now that we've hit that level. So it sounds like we may not get to reveal my worst whiskey of the year, which is fine. It's totally fine. But if we do, we'll see. We'll keep that around. We'll keep that goal going. No ending to that goal there. So even if it says on the chat that the goal ended, you guys, if you do super chat and we get enough to do that, I will name my number one worst whiskey of the year. But so Donnie, if you get the notification that says like goal is ended, it hasn't. So let's go into the other reveals that we've done. Let's talk about best Irish whiskey. This year is actually I've bought very few Irish whiskeys, so this wasn't a very hard decision because like there was one that was an obvious standout for me, and it's a brand that I've loved. I've loved pretty much everything they've done. I love their small batch, which is like their standard lineup. I use that as my go-to mixer for Irish whiskey. But this release in particular, if I can find where I set the bottle at, that is not it. Oh, there it is. This is actually a release that came to Total Wine. It is a single barrel, single cask of the Teeling 13-year-old Irish whiskey. This one comes in at 57.8% ABV. Like I said, it's a Total Wine single cask, and it's PX Sherry Cask Maturation. So it's a natural cask strength, non-chill filtered. Y'all know I'm a sucker for PX cask, and this one is no exception. So I love, like I said, everything that Teeling does, but this one in particular, the single cask at 13-year, has been. I've been slowly drinking this bottle because I love it so much. So I don't know if I put that art up there, but that's it. Let's see. Nice, pricey for a 6-year. Totally makes sense. I knew it. You knew it. Okay. Oh, frowny face. Oh, that's a frowny face. So I'm like, oh, are you sad about my pick? Oh, I would have loved to try more Irish this year. Maybe that's a goal for next year. Maybe I'll just try more Irish. That'll be what I commit to. Because I feel like I was definitely leaning very heavily American whiskey this year. So yeah. Yeah. You've had it. Oh, cool. Nice. And I think I shared some with Sofa as well. Awesome. Well, that's my number one Irish whiskey. My number one Scotch whiskey probably is no surprise. I've reviewed this earlier in the year on the channel. That's not the right bottle, anyways. I was doing a little side by side. I was deciding which one I wanted to include because I have two that were strong contenders for best Scotch. I don't have a glass. It's okay. I'll drink one of the other ones I've already poured. My best Scotch of the year has to go to the newest Laphroaig Càirdeas. This is Cask Favorites. It's a 10-year-old release. And what they did, I mean, it's pretty no surprise here that it made my list. I think Laphroaig Càirdeas has always been on my top 10 whiskeys if I've included, non-American whiskeys. This, they combined their past few years of releases. So this one is an ode to the triple wood and the PX. So it's a 10-year-old bourbon aged in ex-bourbon and quarter cask. Sorry, 10-year-old Scotch whiskey aged in ex-bourbon casks and quarter casks before being finished in PX casks. So again, I'm a sucker for PX, and this one checked all the boxes for me. Really great release. I will always buy a Laphroaig Càirdeas release. There have been some that have been like a little bit of misses, but almost every single one I've never regretted buying. I'm like, this is such a unique flavor profile to have in my collection. So yeah, Laphroaig Càirdeas this year is my top. I didn't say Irish. I said Scotch. Did I say Scotch? I was talking Irish earlier. Laphroaig. Irish whiskey is close to my heart. Jeffrey Wack in the chat. What's up? That's awesome. Good to see you. Hopefully, are you guys doing a top whiskey of the year, or have you already done it? Let me know. If so, y'all go check out Hello Again Whiskey Friends here on a Whiskey Tube. Living here on the island of Ireland. I know. But I'm very, very excited to have the Teeling single cask. Sean said Whiskey Advocate named their Elements 2.0 the top whiskey of the year. Oh, nice. I didn't have a chance to try that. I think some friends bought a bottle of it, so I might have to sneak a little taste of that. I've not had that one, but I always love Càirdeas. Laphroaig they hit the mark all the time. So that's no surprise to me that they made my top Scotch whiskey. All right. Next up, this feels a little biased because I only featured one of these brands on the channel this year, but it's a brand that one is local to me, like so local that they invited me to their headquarters to do a live stream from there, and we had a great time. And I've since seen them at local whiskey festivals, and I cannot get enough of their product. This category is best ready to drink cocktail. There's a lot of them. There's another one that has always done well in the past. From San Diego, but this one's really local. It's based in Pasadena, California. This is my best ready to drink cocktail. Is the Knox and Dobson Old Fashioned. So it is a canned cocktail. Oh, sorry, it's not canned. It's a bottle. It's a bottled cocktail made with real ingredients, and this tastes just as good as an old fashioned you can get at any. I don't say any bar, but like any established bar. Like it's not like a really crappy like dive bar thing where they muddle all that stuff in it. No, it is straight up whiskey, bitters, simple or sugar, and it has it's. I wish I had a bottle in front of me. I drank through all of mine, but Knox and Dobson really know how to do the bottled cocktail game. I'm so thankful they invited me over earlier this year to do the stream. Can't wait to see they had some products in development when I was there. I'd love to see if those have hit the market yet, but I was at a whiskey festival probably 2 or 3 months ago here in Los Angeles, and I saw their booth. I'm like, I could use an old fashioned right now. And man, it really, really does. They have a Manhattan. They have another thing called the new improved whiskey cocktail. They also have a gin cocktail, like an aviator. There's one. Oh, they have a martini. I think it's a gin martini. So they have a lot of fun stuff. I personally love their old fashioned. That was my winner. Jeffrey says each week we each individually do a top 10. I posted mine this week. Darrell did his this week, and Kelsey will post next week. Oh, awesome! I can't wait. I'll go check those out soon. I was gonna say tonight, but I gotta do an after party hangout. But that's awesome. I can't wait to watch that. I'm excited to see what made your list. Awesome. One extra we do have one more category to reveal. Thanks to you guys that have unlocked this level of Patreon. Not Patreon. Super chat. Wow. I'm starting to Cliffy's showing up, y'all. So there's one more, and it's I've done several streams this year based around this topic. I've done a lot of non-alcoholic live streams. I've done quite a few dry weeks this week or this year. Some of them have been focused specifically on beers. There's been some on spirits, but I think I have one overall pick that has absolutely blown my mind, and I've continued to buy it since beyond those streams. Whenever I want to do like a dry week or even just like a dry day, like I'm just like I don't really feel like drinking, but I'd like to have a nice beverage to drink. So there are two winners in this category. One is my favorite non-alcoholic beer. One is my favorite non-alcoholic drink because it's not a beer. I'll explain. My favorite non-alcoholic beer, if y'all watch that live stream, Corona non-alcoholic. This thing, if you try the Corona 0% ABV alcohol, it is so close to regular Corona. Like I'm a big Modelo Corona drinker in general. This one, I could probably, if I was already a few drinks in and you gave me one of these, I would never know that it was non-alcoholic. It fits that perfect like summer sitting on the beach vibe, which I love out here in California. Do it a lot, and it just really it's available. I see it all the time, and it's only like it's like basically $2 a bottle or so. So I really, really love that one. That's my favorite non-alcoholic beer of the year. Guinness is a good contender. I love the non-alcoholic Guinness too. That would probably get my second place if I were doing a full list of that. So my best non-alcoholic non-beer, but like beverage, has to go to hop water. If y'all watch the stream, I did a whole stream on hop water. Actually, there's if you go to my link, it's the same link. They're doing at least they were doing a special for Black Friday. That was like a really good deal. The link should still be active. The Bourbon Bytes promo code should be active for all upcoming deals they have. So just a little pro tip there. They have their grapefruit flavor is incredible. I've bought hop water since then. My favorite sparkling. So basically, the reason it's not included in the beer category is it's not a beer. It's basically sparkling water where they have added hops to it. So it's not alcoholic, but they add hops into the process. And it's really fun. It's a really fun, bright, has some of that like dankness of the hops, but it works so well with the fruitiness of like the flavors. So hop water is my favorite non-alcoholic beverage that's not a beer. If that makes sense. I didn't know how to describe it officially. All right. So that means we got one more whiskey to reveal, which is my number one whiskey of the year. Unfortunately, it doesn't sound like we're going to reveal our worst whiskey of the year. I think we're still quite a few. I think we're like $45 worth of super chats away from that, which is fine. It's all good. That was just a fun thing I was going to offer up if we hit a certain level, but if not, it's all cool. So I guess it's time to reveal my number one whiskey of 2024. Unless anyone wants to go in and throw in a bone for that top whiskey or that worst whiskey, we'll see. But I don't want to hold up. That's a dry week go to. Yeah, me too with hop water. Really, really like it. I didn't want to waste my Guinness drink ticket on a non-alcohol. No, of course not. But you can find it like I've never seen it on tap. That would be fun. I don't know if they do it on tap, but I've seen it at just like every liquor store has it, like a 6-pack of it. Definitely worth trying. It's fun. All right, my number one whiskey of 2024. I can't believe we're here already. Now, this is the one. If y'all tuned in earlier in the stream, you saw me say that these aren't necessarily all related to a very specific bottle. They could be a brand or a line of a bourbon that suits your palate. Because for me, this one was so hard to pick which of their products actually made my top 10. And that's when I ultimately decided I think it's all of their products. I've never said that before. So this is a brand that was introduced to me this year. I had never even heard of it before around March of this year. I went to the New Orleans Bourbon Festival, and this brand was there, and they were very, very generous with their pours, letting us try the full lineup. They had a very special single barrel select specifically for the festival, which is the one that I'm going to choose to represent the brand as my number one because it is my favorite thing I've had from them. But that's not to say that their core lineup of bourbons and rye whiskeys are not all incredible. Like I literally just had a pour of I had what was left of the I haven't revealed it yet. I had what was left of their standard on the shelf bourbon, which is a 6.5-year bourbon, and it was just as incredible as for the value as the single barrel. So my number one whiskey of 2024 has to go. Drum roll. I love the drum roll. Has to go to Dark Arts Whiskey House / single barrel bourbon. Again, this is just the one specifically one that I'm going to call out. Dark Arts Whiskey House. Like I said, a brand I'd never heard of until this year, until New Orleans Bourbon Festival. They do source their bourbon, which y'all know I'm okay with that. They are transparent about it. They say it's distilled in Indiana, so love that. So you do an age statement. This one's at 112.8 proof. This one's actually a rye. So I actually said bourbon in the note, but again, that my point is Dark Arts Whiskey House in general. So the correction that should say dark. Let me change it. Hold on, single barrel rye, New Orleans Bourbon Festival. There. That way it's official. There we go. Dark Arts Single Barrel Rye, New Orleans Bourbon Festival pick. This one's called Liquid Gold. Oh, sorry. Wow. This is me trying to panic and like, no, this is not that. This is not. This is okay. Here, took that one off. Correction. This is not the New Orleans Bourbon Festival pick. This is actually their fun. They had one called Dank Arts. It's supposed to mimic the aromas and flavor profile of a very specific California substance, because they're a California-based company. And this is just a fun one. This is just an example I'm showing you. This was actually the one I had earlier. This was their bourbon. This was their 6.5 year barely legal bourbon. I also have their rye. This is the rye whiskey finish in Ambarana cask. Again, every single one of their products has blown me away. I bought this one up for fun because I'm like, what is a it doesn't taste like weed. It just they're saying it's got that herbal, grassy element to it. It's fun. But yeah, no, I just love the brand. I'm loving everything that Macaulay's doing with the brand. I cannot wait to buy more of these wherever I can find them because I I love them. They're fun. They're great proof, great price. I mean, they're like around 70 to $80, but they are single barrels. They are cask strength. They're up there in age, around 7 years old. And just it's my favorite new brand I've seen in a long time. So yeah, Dark Arts Whiskey House, they make my number one American whiskey of the year. Whether it's their bourbon or the rye, whatever your flavor profile is. For me, I would probably say it's the single barrel bourbon piglet I had, the New Orleans Bourbon Festival. But the single barrel rye, the dank blend, is also in the same category. So congratulations to the folks over at Dark Arts. You've really, again, I don't know exactly how new you are, but I will say you are new to me, and I will be a very, very regular customer after trying it and meeting you and having you on the channel. If y'all missed that stream, I actually had Macaulay on the channel as well. So definitely show them some love. Let them know. Go to that profile. Be like, hey, Clifton from Bourbon Bytes just voted you his number one whiskey of the year. So yeah, again, it says single barrel rye, but in general, it's anything from their brand. I think the single barrel bourbon was actually my favorite, but again, I would put any of their products in my number one. So that's yeah, transparent sourcing is great. Prescription bourbon, oh my god, that is amazing. That is way better than anything I could do right now. Dark arts, anything. Yeah. And that sounds like I'm exaggerating, but I'm just saying like everything I've tried from them has just exceeded the bar. Like like I have a bar set for what I expect for that source, like Indiana bourbon or rye. And the finishes they do to it just blows me away on every single product. So for me, they're just the overall winner of 2024 for me. Fred's still going for that Bulleit 12-year rye. Yeah, no, it definitely made the list. But awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I know we didn't get to our worst whiskey of the year, but it's okay. It's okay. We can maybe save that reveal for next year. Maybe I'll have another worst whiskey of the year for next year. If you guys, like I said, if you're new, you're not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I go live every Thursday evening, almost every Thursday evening. This is my last stream of the year. I appreciate you guys coming along for the journey. Like I said, if you want to join our Discord server, I don't know why I said that weird. Discord server, link is in the description below, as well as Patreon. You can support for as little as $2 a month. But I appreciate you guys having an incredible year with me here on the channel. We've had so many guests, so many fun streams, so many community meetups. I've loved every moment of it, and I thank you all so much for making 2024 the best it could be. You know, it's been a weird year, but you made the best it could be. I love you all. I hope you do enjoy the holidays, celebrate with your friends, your family, whatever you celebrate, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever. And most of all, have a very happy new year. I will see you in 2025. I'm not going anywhere. I will be here. And until next time, this has been Bourbon Bytes, whiskey reviews with an 80s twist. I'm your host, Clifton. I will see you next year. God, that feels so weird to say because I feel like I'm not even thinking about the fact that it's the holidays. So I also have to sneeze. I'm trying not to sneeze on camera. There we go. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all to my patrons. I will update this end card to include our newest patron, Matthew Parks. Again, thank you for joining. And until next time, I will see you here on Discord, YouTube, wherever you find me. Love y'all. Bye.